What is going on? I'm Cole. It has been a while since I have done this segment. I know that there's one person that is super excited, and that is Bruce from Bruce and Stephanie Comics. So I'm going to get to that intro, and then we'll get to what we're doing. My most anticipated comics for August 2nd, 2022. So, for those of you who have not been here to see this segment before, this is my most anticipated comics. So what I do in here is I talk about 5 of the books that I'm most anticipating for the following week. It's New Comic Book Day, and yeah, it's been a while since I've done this. I'm going to be completely honest. I am fairly behind on a lot of books, so that is something that just happens to, maybe be an issue here. But the one thing I will say is that I always use League of Comic Geeks to go over what I'm going to pick this week. I usually record some of this stuff anywhere between Monday through Thursday of the week before these books come out. So there are delays, there are paper shortages. Sometimes these books aren't right. So if you get to your shop and you're like, that Cole's Comics Claims told me to grab this book and it's not there, you now know why I might not be there. I try to make this book or this video come out a little bit earlier so you know exactly what to be looking for. I'm going to get to a little bit of housekeeping before I get to the books. So the first thing I want to say is that Gary B has been doing a Grow Together initiative, pushing for phase 3, and I made a video for that. I think most of the video or the accounts on that are fairly close to getting to the sub counts that I had, so we're getting close to that giveaway. But I would love to have you guys go out there and sub up these channels. They're all great channels, and they're all getting closer to those milestones that we set for them. So thank you everyone who has already done that, and thank you to everyone that's going to go out and do that. Let's get into some of these books now. So I think I set 5 books that I'm really looking forward to this week. And yeah, the first one that we're going to get to is, this is a book that I have, throughout all of these times when I've gotten behind, this is a book that I have stayed up on, and that is going to be issue 14 of Moon Knight. This is definitely not a great jumping on point, but Jed MacKay has been doing an amazing job on Moon Knight. I think both the art in this book and the storytelling has been fabulous, and yeah, it's one of those few books that I have still caught up with and stayed caught up on. So this is definitely probably not great for new readers. I think that this is a very fun book, and Moon Knight is one of the best books I think out on Marvel, and I think if you have not been checking it out, it might be worth your time to go there and do that. The next book is also going to be not a great book to just pick up right now, and that is That Texas Blood. This is issue number 16. So this is, I want to say, the 3rd issue in this newest arc. I am caught up on this book too, which is completely on it. Awesome for me, I guess. Chris Condon and Jacobs Phillips has been doing an amazing job on this book. For those of you who don't know, That Texas Blood is following a detective in a small Texas town as he deals with some of these weird crimes that are happening. This is kind of the 3rd big arc, and each of these have kind of taken place at different time pieces. This one is very creepy, has some horror elements into it, which I really love, but this is at heart a crime piece, and there's kind of a little bit of that slice of life that you get from this book, just from small town Texas. Now, this next book is a number 1, but is also maybe a continuation of another story. So I don't know if this is a great starting on point. That being said, if you've been to this segment before, you know I don't read blurbs for a lot of this stuff. I just go in and I get it. And that book is Demon Wars, The Iron Samurai, number 1. If you do not know, this book is both written and illustrated by Peach Momoko. I know that there have been some people that have been fairly critical on this book, and I don't really know why. I think the art is great. I mean, I get that people do not like her style art, and it doesn't fit maybe for every book. But in this style of a book, I think her art really shines, and it really fits, and it really shows how good of an artist she really is. But the storytelling actually goes through pretty good with it too. While none of these issues have been like the most outstanding book that I have read, they probably won't win crazy awards. They're still great books with great stories, and I think they're very worth checking out. I know a lot of people are very critical on her and her artwork, but I think these Demon Days books have been great. And yeah, just looking at the cover alone, there's going to be a ton of people in this, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And the next book, this one is also maybe one of those books. I don't know if it's a great picking up book, but hey, let's pick it up. I'm probably going to take a look at it. Who knows? But this is Edge of Spider-Verse #1. I think this is supposed to be like the last of the Spider-Verses. There's a Spider T-Rex on this, which I think is maybe like a slight ripoff of like the Bat T-Rex that happened during Dark Knight's Metal. But hey, we've got another Edge of Spider-Verse book. There's probably going to be some sort of a new spider character in this, so if you're into some speculation, I would just recommend getting all of these issues picked up if you can. And once again, I don't know, I'm not a huge Spider-Verse fan. I really enjoyed the Gwenverse book that has recently been coming out because I know my daughter will eventually maybe get into that, so I've been kind of checking these books out as I can because there are a lot of female spider characters and my daughter has really gravitated towards Spider-Gwen. So if I can get these books and have them, hopefully it's something that maybe if I do not love, maybe she'll love when she gets a little bit older and is able to dive into some of Dad's comics. And the final book, this is usually a publisher that I normally don't buy books from, but the author on this book has made me very well want to get this book, and that book is Aftershocks The Vineyard #1. This is Brian Hawkins. He has wrote a lot of great books, and if one of the biggest ones being Black Cotton, which is a comic burrito, Golden Burrito award-winning book. But yeah, this looks to be very good. It's going to be some sort of a horror book based on some wine-related things. Once again, I don't read blurbs, but I trust in this author enough that I'm going to pick this #1 off the shelf. I'm going to give it a read, and hopefully I'm going to love it, and hopefully you do the same, because with some of these more smaller books, we want to give these creators a chance to be able to tell their story and maybe get them to the next round. Once again, guys, this has been probably a little bit quicker than I normally do these have ranged in time, but I'm a little out of the game. I'm getting back into it. I am going to kind of change the intro up. I used to change it every single time. I'm probably going to keep the same one for the entire month, and it's just going to make it a little bit easier to make sure that I can constantly be putting this video out for you to enjoy. So of the books I talked about, which one was your favorite, or which one do you want to get? And also, what are you looking forward to? One of my favorite things about this video is how it gets other people talking to me about the comics that they're pumped to read. That's what I kind of love about both the card and the comic community, is us just talking about stuff. If nothing of this interests you, let me know. Hey, you should have talked about this. It is hard because as I fall behind in my comic reading, I get a little bit behind, and I am also not trying to pick up a ton of new stuff coming on. But with this segment, I know that I'm going to start having to get a few #1s here and there to check out, and hopefully, find the new greatest book of all time ever. So yeah, let me know what you're grabbing on August 2nd, and who knows, as I said, this has just been a fun comic segment that I've really enjoyed doing, and I know that Bruce from Bruce and Stephanie Comics is going to be super happy when he sees this video, and if he doesn't leave me a comment, I'm going to write my local politician. But as always, I've been Cole, and peace. My most anticipated comics for August 2nd, 2022.